We're here in Isolation Station Studios in Brevard County with Heather and Todd Sharon. Back there, distance 6 feet away. We're going to play some music and we're going to be talking about the Pandeiro this evening. So stick around. We're going to have a really good episode, a lot of fun tonight. So before we get started, I'm just going to play. External. Maybe? Hang on. Maybe. Are we still live? Are we still out there? Are we out there? We're having some technical difficulties here. It's like a power thing going on over here.
It's plugged in. And now it's unlocked.
Do me a favor and hit stop recording on. You can't even see it. Yeah.
Drift over is
Yep.
bringing it up.
All right, there it is. Okay.
No, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going.
Yeah, just hit stop recording though. I think it's taking up all my CPU. I don't need the recording. Yeah. All right. So I haven't heard from Jim, so we must be good. Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you, everybody, again this evening. I'm going to just go ahead and use this microphone for now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The chat is ready. The chat is ready, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for joining us again this evening. This is episode number 4, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Pandeiro. And I'm going to introduce kind of a little bit how I got into the Pandeiro and a little bit about some basic Pandeiro playing. So all you guys out there who are looking to start playing, this is a great instrument because it's so compact. And I mean, for drummers especially, this is something we can just like put in the bag and roll with us. So I'd like to, before we start, just ask you guys, what are 3 ways that you think learning the Pandeiro could improve your drumming? Okay, so I want to just leave that out there and think about that. Add your answer to the chat. What are 3 ways that you think the Pandeiro could improve your drumming? And then we'll get back to you on that. All right, a bit of hiss on the stream and voice could be louder. So let's go to the next scene, Todd, real quick. Yeah, so I would like to show you guys. It's not going to show up because of all that glitch. We have to reconnect that. Okay, well. Oh, man. Woo, this is fun. This is lots of fun. All right, so let's just go to worksheet number 1. There we go. All right, so the Pandeiro. We're going to talk about this a little bit. I got to put this here. All right, so 3 zones of the Pandeiro that I've always talked about, and this is something that's really going to help you guys. These 3 zones of the Pandeiro. So we have the outer zone, which is where the jingles are, okay, the platinellas, and I call that zone 1. And then right inside of that zone, I call it zone 2, and this is where our bass tones are going to be. So first, zone 1 is just all jingles. That's all we got are jingles on zone 1. And what you want to do is you want to make sure your fingertips are at 2 o'clock and your heel is at 5 o'clock, okay? And it's all about the left wrist. Everything is left wrist, okay? So we're going to be rotating heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. And this is going to be going the whole time, okay? And this is all zone 1. Now the next zone you're going to want to play in is going to be where the bass tones take place, and that's right here in zone 2. Okay, and it's usually about an inch inside of the inside rim, the outside rim. And this is where you're going to get your thumb and your fingertip bass tones, okay? So the first thing, one of the things that takes a long time is getting that a really clean and consistent bass tone. And so what you want to be doing is just playing bass tones with the thumb for a long time until you get a really clear and clean tone. The more advanced tones are the fingertip tones, and those are the ones that I usually prefer to wait for. This is like, getting fingertip tones is something that should come way down the road. Okay, so first we want to be going fit with the fingertip. If you're going to start doing that, you want to be an inch inside right there in zone 2, right? And then you want, the hard part of all of this is getting the fingertips and the thumb to be the same velocity, right? The same sound. That's the thing that's going to take a long time. It literally took me years to develop. Getting the bass tone with the fingertips and the thumb to be equal. Okay. Okay, so that's an exercise that you can do with your bass tones. If you're working on the fingertip bass tones, go really slow. Quarter notes, 2, 3, 4, and then eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3, and then 16th notes, and 1. Okay, so that's an exercise you definitely want to work on for a long time. Now, zone 3 is in the center of the pandeiro, and that's where you're going to get your slap tones. Okay, all your slap tones are going to happen right here in zone 3. And we have 3 different types of slap tones. We've got our open hand slap tone, which is right here. It's our entire hand from our knuckles all the way up. And we're just slapping the pandeiro. That's the first slap tone. That's the main slap tone we want to work on. The second one is with our thumb, right here in the center. We're going to hit with our thumb in the center. Then the next one is our fingertips in the center. Right? So those are 3 slap tones. Let's see. We got any chats there? There we go. All right. So we got 3 slap tones. Okay? We've got our bass tone here, or I'm sorry, our thumb slap tone here, our fingertip slap tone, and our open slap tone. That restream's probably not going to be working anymore either. That restream might get disconnected. All right. So now what we can do is we can go thumb slap, finger slap, thumb slap, open slap. 1 E and ah, 2 E and ah, 1 E and ah. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? I'm doing the fingertip slaps first, and then coming in with the open slap. 1 E and ah, E and ah, and ah, 2 E and ah, 1 E and ah, 1 E and ah. Good. Right. So, I'm going to play a song before we move on to the next worksheet. I'm going to play this new song here for you guys. I want you to check this out. And please feel free to hit us up in the chat. Even though we can't see the live chat, I'm trying to get some live chat integrated here, but it's not working tonight. But please chat with us. 3 questions. How can the pandeiro improve your drumming? And we're going to answer those in a few minutes. But let me play a song for you. All right. So, yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Who's out there? Anybody? Hello, 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 everybody. Ask me some questions about the Pandeiro. Is anybody out there interested in playing Pandeiro, starting to play Pandeiro, hoping to play Pandeiro, wondering how the Pandeiro can improve their drumming? I think there's at least 3 ways that I would like to share with you. One way is feel. When I started playing this instrument, it really totally changed my feel on the drum set. Because everything on here is these are my hi-hats, right? These are the drummer's hi-hats right here, these jingles. And I think of these as the hi-hats. And then we've got our bass drum, right? And then our snare drum. So what happened with me was when I moved to Brazil, obviously I couldn't carry a drum set with me, so I had nothing to practice. I moved into this house, and I had no drum set. There were a bunch of people living there, and none of them were musicians. So I had to figure something out, and I was already on a quest to study with Marcus Susano and learn more about this instrument in Brazil. So I picked one up, and I started just practicing all day, every day. And this literally became my drum set. And that's how I approach it, and I've always approached it that way, even rudimentally. You know, you can play paradiddles on this thing, you can play double stroke rolls, you can play through the Wilcoxon book on this thing. It's really an amazing instrument, and it's a lot smaller and easier to carry than a drum set. I can't tell you how many times I've shown up to a gig with this, just this under my arm, and said, well, I know what a flute player feels like now. It's great. So feel. Learning how to play the Pandeiro, if you're trying to understand and learn other different types of feels on the drum set, this is really going to help. You know, we don't have to get into the whole samba Brazilian feel thing yet to even get there, but let's like take baião for instance, or forró. So, you know, when you start playing this on the Pandeiro, and this is like a pretty basic Pandeiro groove, like playing just, you know, bass, slap, bass, slap, bass, slap, bass, slap, bass, slap, right? And then when you go over to the drum set, I'm just going to carry this thing with me here. When you go over to the drum set, you realize that, you know, when you're playing this, right? So that's another thing that this can help improve, is not just your feel, but also adding new colors to the drum set, right? You've got now all of a sudden you've got a totally different color that, you know, maybe you're playing a bossa nova on the gig, maybe you're playing some type of tune that you want to bring something fresh, something different to the sound, to the palette of sound. Now you've got like a bossa nova or a slow samba. Okay, so that's 2 ways that learning the Pandeiro can help improve your drumming. Feel and adding new colors to your drumming, a new instrument that you can bring to the table on a gig. Another way that is really important to me is, oh, you guys hear that train? Can you guys hear the train going by? Another thing that's really important to me, the third most important reason or most important way that learning the Pandeiro can improve your drumming is it contextualizes things. When you start learning the pandeiro, you start to learn culture. You're learning culture through these instruments. Anytime you study, even a drum set, if you play the drum set, you should know where the drum set was born. You should know how it was born, why it was born, who gave birth to it. Because this is our instrument, and we should be attached to it. And being attached to it, in my opinion, means understanding its history and its lineage and its ancestors. And so it's the same thing with the pandeiro. When you start learning the pandeiro or any percussion, any instrument from around the world, you're going to learn the traditional vocabulary that was played on it, the traditional songs, because there's a vocabulary, there's a context that this instrument is played in. So you're going to start to learn a chorinho. You're going to start to learn who Jacob do Bandolim is. You're going to start to learn all these different styles and these different names and a different language and all these things, and this whole world just starts to open up. And you're contextualizing it. Now, when you sit down to play a samba, or a bossa nova, it's not just some random thing. It's something that you've spent time checking out, and you understand that the pandeiro is a huge part of it. Anyway, to me, that's really important. As a drummer, as a percussionist, as a musician, and an artist, is understanding and appreciating the ancestors and everything that came before us, and understanding the roots of everything that we do. So, are there any questions? Yes. So, Suba, what's up? Thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate it. We gotta hook up for another lesson here soon, when all this is over. All right. So the swing feel. Oh wait. So the first part was the. Just talk about Brazilian swing. And the drum, the model of drum. So this is a minor. I'll just talk to you guys about this. This is a minor. This is their goat skin version. I've kind of modified it, so you might not find it with these exact jingles, but I do want to show you guys something really cool. This thing they just came out with. Okay, so this is like a Napa head, and it's really light, but these jingles, there's not jingles, these are shakers. This is cool. Now, this isn't, going to do your traditional thing, but this is definitely out of the box thinking, really cool. And then you got the shakers. So this is I think they call it the shaker pandeiro or something. It's really cool. It's got shakers on there. So about the swing feel. So it's funny because this question comes up on every episode. And over at worlddrumlessons.com, we're working on a metronome, a play-along metronome that is the swingometer. We're putting together a digital swingometer, and we're already in beta mode. We're testing this swingometer in our courses at worlddrumlessons.com. So if anybody out there is interested in learning the pandeiro, we have an academy where you could sign up, and it's every weekend we have a Zoom class, and then you have access to all of the previous Zoom classes, plus a lot of tons of video content and PDFs and exercises that I put together over at worlddrumlessons.com. But there's a swingometer that we're beta testing in the course, where we talk about where it helps you learn this swing feel and helps you play in this swing feel. So the thing about this swing feel is that it's got a lope to it, the Brazilian swing feel. It's not even 16th notes, right? It's da ka da 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 da, right? Da ka da 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 ka da da da. So the most important thing, and I heard my friend Itai Guada talk about this on one of his explanations of Brazilian swing feel. They sing it. You have to learn how to sing it. And one of the ways of singing the swing feel is ta ka ra ta ta ka da ta ta ka ra 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 ta ta, right? And so that's going to help you. Now, my swingometer, if I can indulge you guys in my swingometer. Now, let's take a look at the chat real quick. Are there any chats, any questions before I start getting deeper into Suba's swing feel question. Oh, they're up there. Oh, wow. Yay, it's there. Hey, yeah. Dude, it's working. I can't read them. I'm blind. I can't see that far. Okay, so the swing feel, the swingometer. So the swingometer is my dial, and we'll get to these questions in a second, okay? So let me just finish with the swingometer, swing feel. So in the middle, there's no swing feel. When I go to the left, I'm going down to Brazil. When I go to the right, I'm going down to New Orleans, okay? Or, you know, a triplet swing feel. So there's in the middle, no swing, the left, Brazil, the right, United States triplet feel. So we're going to go straight. And I'm going to start to go to Brazil just a little bit. Now I'm way over there. Now I'm going to bring it back slowly. Now I'm going to start to swing. Okay, so that's the swingometer. And one of my mentors, one of my good friends, one of my musical father, the great Michael Spyro, who's an amazing conguero, an amazing mentor, teacher, he always calls it in his book, when he's talking about the Cuban and the Brazilian swing feel, he calls it fixed time. It's not in 4 and it's not in 6. It's in fix because it's right in the middle of 4/4 and 6/8. Okay, it lives right in that middle world, and so also Moroccan music is like that. So you know, it's just Suba. It's really about listening, and it's about learning that exercise. Check out the swingometer in the World Drum Lessons Pandeiro Academy in the course. All right. So any questions? Let's get to some questions. Let's see our chat. Let's see our chat. Huh? Oh, really?
Stubo said, how much difference is there in the amount of swing between various groups in the scene?
Okay, so now he's asking how many variations of swing are there from all the different groups. Now, there's tons. I mean, I can talk about, I have most of my experiences with maracatu, and I can tell you that Nação Leão Coroado swings differently than Estrela Brilhante, than Nação Porto Rico. Luis Gonzaga swings different than Jackson do Pandeiro. You know, everybody has their own accent, and the groups either lean really heavy on it or a little less heavy on it. It depends on the tempo a lot of times, depends on the energy, depends on what's happening. So there's a lot of variation. Now when I do that swingometer, and the swingometer in the course has 3 settings. So you've got 0, then you got 1 degree, 2 degrees, and 3 degrees of swing. And to me, once you get to third degree, you're pretty much as swung as you want to get. So I kind of feel that when I'm doing that swingometer, I feel that there's like 3 degrees of swing there. Okay. Let's see. We'll get to some more questions, and we'll get to the next worksheet too. And also, I just want to let you guys know that, you know, we appreciate you tuning in, and anybody out there who is so gracious and able to contribute to our virtual tip jar, we would all greatly appreciate it. There's a lot of people behind the scenes making this happen, and it would be great to, you know, support everybody, be able to support everybody that's helping me do this. Todd, Heather, Jim Toscano, you know, and so many more. But anyway, we've got the tip jar open, so please, if you can, we would appreciate it. Okay. What's that? Nina asked the question. What did Nina ask?
Said, I want to know how they make the Pandeiro.
She wants to know how they make the Pandeiro. Nina, is that my daughter Nina, who's 6 years old, and she's asking a question, how do they make the Pandeiro? I am not a luthier. There's a lot of great luthiers out there. I can tell you that this is a frame drum, okay? So this is just from Mesopotamia, thousands of years BC. This is the same concept that we have here in the United States of tambourine. It's the same concept of a rick. It's a frame drum. It's one of the most famous drums on the planet, okay? It's literally, it's a very shallow frame that's cut out. They wet it, they get it really wet, and they mold it. They put it in a circle, and they glue it together, and then they route out these sections here for the jingles, or what they call the placinellas. And the drum I'm playing has a goat skin on it, okay? So let's talk about that for a moment, the different types of heads that you can get. So there's the goat skin head, which is the most popular right now. You can get the lowest bass tone out of it. It's usually used for chorinho and coco and a lot of different styles. You've got the Napa head ones, right, which has a lower tone. And then you have the plastic heads, or the nylon, which gets a higher pitch. I don't have this thing tuned up that high right now. Good question, Nina. All right. Any other questions before we get to the next worksheet? What's that? Okay. So I want to show you guys the first worksheet number 2 real quick. And then we'll take some more questions. I want to show you guys worksheet number 2. And if you guys want to get these worksheets, just head on over to worlddrumlessons.com and sign up for our groove letter, and you will get these emailed to you right away, okay? So that's worlddrumlessons.com. And also would love to invite you guys to our weekly Pandeiro Academy. Yes, I'm being... Oh, yeah, that's right. And check out that little QR code thing we got pasted in the corner there. This thing is cool. You can open up your phone like a camera, and pretend like you're going to take a picture of it, and just move your camera right up next to it, and you'll get a little message in the top that says, go to this website, and you can sign up for the groove letter right there. Yes? Uh-oh. Oh, yes, I heard that I've emailed the wrong worksheets. So I'll fix that for you guys, okay? I promise. Tonight I'll fix that. I'll email the right ones out. Okay, worksheet number 1. So now that this is all on zone 1. Now that we know what zone 1 is on the Pandeiro, that's all on the outside edge of the Pandeiro. Okay, and this number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, all we're doing is we're displacing the accent 1/16th note each time. Okay, so for number 1, yeah, you're good there. On number 1, we're going 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and that's heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. That's what the H and the T stands for. Okay, so we're going to put those accents there on 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1E, 2E and 1E, 2E and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and stop. Now, what's important is you remember that your fingertips are at 2 o'clock and your heel is at 5 o'clock. You want a wide spread happening right here. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2. And now, if we go to number 2, we're going to displace the 16th note. We're going to displace the accent 1/16th note. Here we go. 1E and 2E and 1E. Now it's on the fingertips. 1E and 2E and E and 2E and 1E and 2E and E and E and E and 2E. Number 3. 2E and 1E and 2E and 2E and 2E and 1E and 2E and. And then number 4. 1E and and ready and stop. Okay, so this is an endurance exercise. It's also a control exercise. What we're trying to do is get you to control the jingles and control your left wrist. As you notice, everything I'm doing right now is with the left wrist. I'm not using any right hand. I'm using very little right hand. Okay, the idea of these exercises of this sheet is to isolate the left wrist and do just the left wrist, okay? 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1 and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E, a 1. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through this. We're going to play it with the repeats, and we're going to go back to the top. So, we're going to go number 1, 2 times, number 2, 3, and 4, 2 times each, and then we're going to go back to the top and do them down again, okay? And we're going to practice doing that. All right, so here we go. Now, if you don't have a pandeiro, you could grab a book. I practiced with a book for a long time because sometimes your roommates get sick and tired of this, or the people you're living with. So you can grab a book, and you can do this all on a book. And what you want to do is just keep your right hand cupped and use your left wrist. And that's gonna get the motion, okay? Right hand is cupped like that, and you're just getting your left wrist. There you go. All right. Here we go. So, number 1. A 1, 2, ready. Here we go. And 1E, 2E, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Number 2 and 1. E and a, 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 E and a. Again. E and a, E and a, E and a, E and a, E and a. Ready. Number 3 and 1E and. Again, 1 and. Here we go, number 4 and 1E and again, back to the top and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna go to number 2. Number 2 now, 1 E, E, E. E, E, E. Number 3 and 1E and. Number 4 and 1E and go boom boom pow. Ooh, that's a good workout. Yes. Okay, and drummers, I saw Todd back here doing it, and it reminded me, you could do this. This could be a hand exercise. Right? You could do this as singles. 1E and a 2E and a 1E, 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 1. Right? And you could turn that thing into a hand exercise. You could start playing it with doubles. You could start doing it with paradiddles, right? You could do this with anything. You could also turn those accents into bass tones on the pandeiro. Right, so that would go back to what we were talking about in the beginning tonight, the bass tones with the thumb and the bass tones with the fingertips, right? So now you could just say, okay, let's turn all of those accents into bass tones. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, number 2, 1 E, 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 number 3, 1 E, N. Number 4 and 1E and 1, 2, 3, right? And you just keep looping it. And the two most challenging things with this instrument right here is tempo and endurance. Tempo and endurance are going to be the two main challenges of learning how to play the pandeiro. So what you have to do is you have to practice. You have to condition yourself, right? You have to start slow, and then you have to do short spurts of fast, and then back to slow. And what you can do is you set the metronome on like 60 when you do these. 1 and 2. Do them really slow, and then you say, okay, let's do it at 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go back to 60. Boom, boom. And you just keep working up. And then the next day, you might get up to 90. And then the next week, you might get up to 100. Okay? And it's just little bite-sized progressions, right? Progress is never linear, right? We're always like going forward, and then we're falling back a little bit. And then we're going forward, and then we're falling back. So you just have to remember that, condition yourself, and just be disciplined and keep practicing through those moments of like, I can't play more than 2 minutes. Well, you will if you keep working. Okay? So you just got to keep working on it. All right, any questions? Let's check out our chat. Let's see if anybody's got any comments or questions. It would help me play other acoustic or low volume jams. What does that one say, Anthony?
I'd like to learn how you record them in a studio setting.
Oh, he would like to learn how to record the Pandeiro in a studio setting? Is that one says that's Anthony, right? Yes. Would help me play with other acoustic or low volume jams. I'd like to learn how you record them in a studio. Yeah, Anthony, the way that there's a lot of different ways to mic this drum and record the Pandeiro. I like to when I record, I like to mic from underneath. Also, this is the Bill Bowen microphone that I'm using here. It's a clip-on mic. I've recorded with it sometimes, but I definitely use a nicer condenser mic underneath, and sometimes a microphone overhead. Those are the best ways to record it. And a lot of the trick is in tuning it and EQing it. That's a big thing, is the post-production, the editing. Who's that? Okay, flams on the Pandeiro. So yes, you can play flams on the Pandeiro. This is something that Carlinhos Pandeiro Diodo taught me over at Brazil camp one year. And what he does is he takes his fingertips like this, and he plays down. So his fingertips, the backs of his fingertips are hitting before his thumb. You can do it in the center so that your thumb is the thud right here in the center. Or you can do it as a bass tone. Okay, good question. Flams on the Pandeiro. Any other questions? All right, I'll play, let me see. Yes. So we got worksheet 1, worksheet 2. What's that? Recap. The 3. Yeah, try it. Let's see if it comes in. Yeah? Wait, I guess I didn't hear you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so are there any other questions out there, Heather? Anything? Okay, so I'm going to play another song for you guys. This one's called, whoops, sorry. It's okay. This one's called Come and Get It. All right, all right, all right. Come and get it. Whew. All right, how's everybody doing out there? It's good, good, good. So, just want to remind you guys that we've got a groove letter. Sign up for our groove letter, and we'll be sending you, free PDFs like these handouts from tonight. Yeah, the worksheets we'll be passing those out through email. I have a new album coming out with my band Nation Beat. We're releasing a new album in September that we're really, really proud of, very, very proud of, and very excited to share with you guys. I can't wait to share with you. So please sign up for the groove letter so we can stay in touch with you. Yeah, any other questions out there? Yeah? Who said that? Alex. Thanks for tuning in and the comment. So he says I should start a beginner's loop class for people who don't have like a big community. I guess none of us really have a big community of people to play with right now. That's a great idea, and I appreciate that. I will definitely put that in the queue for an upcoming live stream, and I'll let you know when that's coming up. That would be a lot of fun. If you guys, I know you guys can't see this right now, but there is a loop station happening down here, and we'll be talking. You can almost see it. Todd and I talked about this last night too. These are my secrets. This is the thing. This is all my magic hat down here. Like the musician can't always give away the tricks. No, but for real, we will take that and we will create an episode and possibly an online course. Also, thank you for that suggestion. So please, everybody, check us out, worlddrumlessons.com. If there's no other, yeah, I'll post it afterwards. I'll post a picture of the setup. Right. So I want to thank everybody who's been helping put this together. Producer Jim Toscano, our engineers Todd Sharon, Heather Sharon over here co-producing with us over here with the comments and helping us out with the board. And everybody else involved. I would like to thank my endorsers, Sabian, Tama Drums, Vic Firth, Mino Percussion, Remo Heads, Sabian, Tama. I think I got them all. Thank you so much, my friends over there. I hope we all get to play together soon. I hope we get to be on stage. I hope we get to be on the dance floor together. I hope we all get to just to see each other at a live event very soon. I'm going to play one more song on the way out. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And we'll be live again next week, same time, same place. And I'm going to roll out with the hook and sling.
São Pedro, te convido pra uma festa para você vir dançar o coco no porto do gelo. Tem coco bom, tocado o dia inteiro, o coco bom, o coco do chambaco. Pode chover, trovejar, relapiar, fazer um som de rachada, da bicicleta não, meu povo é feito de alegria, meu povo é cheio de energia. Dia de São Pedro, te convido pra uma festa para